Now let's take it more to the Saudi Arabia side. Why would they want to invest in the PFL? The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has a vision called Vision 2030. This is put out by Mohammed bin Salman. He is the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. You may have heard his name. He is a controversial figure depending on what side you sit on. There were some issues with the journalist from DC where they say he ordered his killing. I'm not here to say what is right or wrong. I have absolutely no information more than what is out there publicly, but it's up to you to make your own informative and decisions based off the facts that we can present and what we know. There's also issues with Saudi Arabia around human rights. So that's where the next part will come to sports washing. But what we're going to be talking about initially is the Vision 2030. As the leader of Saudi Arabia, it's his goal to obviously run the country, run the kingdom. How can he make the lives better of the people around him that he's running and his citizens? Let's make this a bit bigger for you really quickly just so we can see it better. So in this picture, the Vision 2030, what is Saudi Arabia known for? What is the Middle East known for? It is known for oil money. And this was their main economy for a lot of time. We're talking like 1900s, could go back. However, what's happening today? Global warming, electric cars, alternative energy. So he can't have his company, aka his kingdom, be relying on oil money 24/7. He owns basically all that stuff. So when I say company, it's because that's where he gets the money. It all goes to him as the ruler of the kingdom in his respective family. So he needs to diversify the economy of Saudi Arabia for the betterment of his citizens and the people who live there, but also for him and himself to be able to be successful and bring more in. So what are some of the type of things he's trying to do? He wants to have unemployment rate at 7%, come down from 11% by 2030. He wants over 1 billion all non-oil government revenues by 2030. He wants 50% of all non-oil exports to be part of the gross GDP by 2030, up from 16%. So this is the big thing we're talking about. He wants half of the exports coming out of Saudi Arabia to not be oil, up from 60% in 16. That's 14 years. That's a big, big, big jump. And that's how we're going to talk about some of the stuff he's doing. He wants power generation capacity at 75 gigawatts by 2020, which obviously already passed. Public investment fund, which is the sports investments we're talking about. He wants private sector contribution to go up, those businesses that people run. And then visitors, 30 million people by 2030 coming to Saudi Arabia every year. The female labor force participation up in 2030 by 20 to 30% from 22%. So he's really looking to try to grow the economy and grow the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to become a global power. Another thing he's doing as well is the Riyadh season. If you've never heard this before, Riyadh is one of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia. Riyadh season is known for entertainment. It's a way to boost tourism, boost activity in the country. It's an initiative, a part of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's vision for 2030. There's over 100 events, concert adventures that are brought in all over Riyadh in celebration of the nation under a unifying theme. Some of the things that happen: Area 51, VR games, music, sculptures. Kronos, there's a bunch of singers coming in. You may have seen Beyonce, Post Malone. World-renowned singers are getting paid millions of dollars to come in. WWE comes in. They have multiple events in Saudi Arabia a year now. We'll talk about that when we get to the sports part. Riyadh season has big football matches. So last year, PSG got paid fat to come in. Obviously, they are owned by Qatar. So for them to come into Saudi Arabia, a good amount of money, and they played the Saudi Arabian team. Obviously, there are people in Saudi Arabia now getting paid to play soccer there every day, and we'll talk about that. We talked about big concerts and conferences that are coming in. Saudi Arabia's ultimate goal is to host the 2030 or 2034 World Cup, and they want to host the Olympics as well. So if they can get either of those, it will say we are a global power. We're here. Qatar just hosted the World Cup, and that showed that, hey, are they there? Was that sports washing? Did they deserve it? Was it corruption? Well, that's a whole different story. It plays a little part, but I can dive deep into that. But the question with Saudi Arabia and the Olympics, if they can get that and they can do the 2030 plan, they will say we deserve to be recognized as one of those global powers in the world. Boxing matches are part of the Riyadh as well. Francis and Tyson, early October, is kicking off the festivities Riyadh, and it's going to be a global event. They're going to be marketing it. They already started.